Oh, hey, there you are. I didn't hear you. Come on in. I've been waiting for you. Where have you been? I'm sure that you're least expecting that Twsbi Saffron. I would like to look at this pen, but first, manners. Good evening, good morning, good night, and good nooning to you wherever you are. I hope that your day is going well. And if not, it's going to get better because I don't get to know you that often, so I figured we could play a game. Everyone knows how to play cards, right? You know how to play cards. Let me deal you in real quick. I know we haven't known each other long, but, you know, I always like to have fun with my friends. Let me get this centered for you and for myself and my sanity. So we're going to play a little game of Match the Saffron. So here are your cards. Place your bets. Make your guesses. Bippity, boppity, boo. It is going to be the third card. If you picked the third card, cheers to you. If you didn't, I definitely understand. I know that my camera does wash out the saturation, so sometimes it's a little bit hard, but hopefully with me running the pen by, it was a little bit obvious. These colors are from the Bayer brand paint sample swatches. Gonna place them side by side so that way it's a little bit easier to compare. We have Exotic Blossom, Joyful Orange, Blazing Bonfire, and Splendor Gold. The Blazing Bonfire, that was our winner. It may be a little bit more apparent once they're all lined up. I'm going to do them on this side as well and maybe center it. Yes. As you can see, I've been taking camera classes, which is why my camera skills have improved. But not really. I've actually been gardening, which is why my hands look a little bit rough, but we're not here for that. It is more apparent in person, I will say. The Joyful Orange is too orange. The Blossom has too much peach in it, and the Splendor Gold is a lighter hue, where the Blazing Bonfire pretty much perfectly matches in saturation and color. The only difference is, once again, these paint samples are a flat matte paint sample versus a gloss, which may have been more apparent since the Eco Tea has that glossy finish. If you are feeling bitter and you did not win that round, don't worry, friend. We have another round. Those were Bayer brand. These are Gildan and another brand of paint samples. On these cards, we're just using the bottom portions. These come in 3. But, you know, maybe you want to use the tops. You tell me. I'm going to just run the pen by and run it by one more time to give you time to guess. Bippity, boppity, boo. If you picked the bottom one on here, you would be correct. Once again, gonna bring it in a little bit closer. It may not be as apparent. These are very similar, but it has the same issue with that other color. This is an actual lighter hue. If we look at card 2, you can see this is too light, and this carotene is actually looking proper. But if I get a closer comparison, you can see that the Marigold Petals is just a little bit richer. Oh, can you see? Maybe you can't see, because I'm looking in my camera finder and these are looking like the exact same color. But you can clearly see there are 2 different colors. And once again, the camera is betraying me. So you're just gonna have to trust me when I say it's closer to the Marigold Petals. This is so wonky. at least with these two, you can see the difference between Juicy Cantaloupe and Egyptian Sun. You know, if I had to go with these two, the Egyptian Sun definitely. But I do apologize that you can barely, unless you have that eagle eye, see the difference between these two colors. But once again, Marigold Petals is the winner. This obviously wasn't matching anything, but let's compare these two. And it is more apparent as far as the difference with this Aloha and the Marigold Petals. Let me pick that other one up as well. Let me do these three. This may help us. Maybe, maybe not. Well, let me do it this way. Bringing us in for a closer look on a white piece of paper. Don't know if this will do it justice, but you can clearly see Aloha isn't where it's at, and that Blazing Bonfire and Marigold Petals are pretty much neck and neck on camera. But once again, Blazing Bonfire does win by a nose or a hair or a nose hair. We have made it to the final comparison. I do have our yellow family of pens all lined up together. We have the Saffron with the Blazing Bonfire for Bear, the yellow with the Extrovert in Kilt's brand paint sample, and I do have the mustard with the extreme yellow. I do want to give a side comment that I do feel the Gildan, let me focus on the name, Golden Ray, R-A-E. If there was something between the extreme yellow and this, I believe it would match the mustard a little bit better. But in person, this Golden Ray has way too much beige in it. Oh, and also, sorry, you may have noticed the lighting has dimmed down. I did have to dim the lighting because with bright light, the yellow and the mustard look like twins. So they're not twins, they're siblings, but they are not the same. And this was the best way I could play with the light, so that way you can see what I am seeing. Do you see what I see? Going to hold them maybe a little bit closer together. So we have the saffron, the yellow, and the mustard. Closer together, you can see the difference. I know by now you should trust me, but just in case you don't, I'm going to flip the light and show you that when the light is bright, do you see now how the mustard and the yellow look like twins? We can still see the saffron stands out by itself, but with high lighting, the mustard and yellow are almost indistinguishable. So I just wanted to show you that because I keep beating it down that the lighting and my camera and saturation do tell a different story. So for future, I will also try this alternate lighting with it being a little bit dimmer because maybe I am overexposing my camera and that's why it's not showing y'all the true pigmentation or the richness of these colors. And for funsy, let's go ahead and throw in our yellow transparent and have the full yellow lineup. Hopefully that is pleasing to you. All right, so that is our last color comparison. But if we want to get it out with the other ecos, let me move these out the way. So we have the saffron, the coral, blue, green, yellow, yellow, green. My mind has left me. Clear. and mint blue. So the Eco Tea lineup is looking pretty nice. If I had to maybe do it a little rainbow style. And then once again, I will turn the light so you can see it in bright light. And as you can even see, it looks a little bit richer when you're doing a variety of colors. It can kind of pick up on it. But when you're doing colors that are very similar, from my experience, it seems that I do have to dim the light for y'all. So that is the Twsbi Saffron in reference to color. Now, of course, I always like a good science project. So let's go to the lab. All right, welcome to the lab. Strange how the background didn't change. But I do have a new dip pen that I've never used. I got this out of a Ink Flight as I have a subscription a long time ago, and I never opened it, but this is an opportunity for me to actually use the dip pen since I noticed it is pretty much similar to the color of the Saffron Eco we got. So I thought, oh, how cool for me to use my dip pen in reference to my Saffron. Similar, but not the same, of course. Now you're asking yourself, why oh why would I need a dip pen? Well, it's because I need a dip. And now for science. So the leftover saffron after I made that portion of rice, I wanted to try to make ink. So there was still a generous ½ teaspoon left after I literally maybe sprinkled only a little bit on the rice, as there was not a lot of spice that came in this jar. I filled the rest of the jar up with filtered water from my fridge, put the cap on, and treated it just like sun tea, or I left it in a sunny windowsill for about a day or two. I did research a little bit between and after, but a lot of the recipes called for other things to add in to boost the pigmentation, but I only wanted it to be saffron. After leaving it in the window for maybe a little bit too long, it had this mucky, I don't know if you can even see that little thing floating. It had a lot of that muck in it, and I don't want the muck. So I strained it, and then I boiled what was left. So some of this loss of water is from evaporation when I boiled it, and the other portion is because I did strain it in a nut milk bag, and those are, you know, kind of that cheesecloth, or it's a finer cloth than cheesecloth material. So some of it I think absorbed in that, but this is what I was left with. It is very light, as you can see. Let me get a white piece of paper behind it. If I had to do it again, I would put that ½ teaspoon in, boil the water, and only fill it up halfway, and then seal it and put it in the fridge so that way I wouldn't get these mucky bits. So here comes in the dip pen, and let's see what kind of color we're gonna get in there. This is just pure water, so I'm hoping that it takes, and we'll get a hello. Oh, this is so light. I don't know if you can, no, you can't see that. Let me bring it in for a closer view. And I wrote the word hello. It's almost like invisible ink. This is Midori paper. I don't know if anyone cares about it, but I bought the Midori letter set because I do plan on eventually writing letters and getting some pen pals because, you know, writing at work and writing friends isn't enough. I need more people to write things to. But, you know, we're going to go ahead and risk it and load this concoction into our Twsbi. This is a medium nib, so it may be a little bit thicker I'm thinking, or write a little bit bolder so that way we can really see the ink, but, or well, I don't even know if I can call this concoction ink, as it's just something that I created with a little bit of saffron. So there it is, very light. And let's put hello again, or let's put howdy. Okay, this is even lighter. I don't even know. You can barely see the howdy right below the hello. Oh, there we go. So it's funny that the dip pen did more than the Eco, but it could also be, since it's not a traditional ink, that this does not feed. Yeah, so it is writing, but once again, it is barely there. We're going to switch back to our dip pen. And I think that's the end of it. I was hoping this was a little bit richer, but it's not. So not much I can do with that. Don't even know if I'm picking up that much. All right, last test. Let's see if we can read this last one. Thanks for watching. There we go. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have the best nooning. Oh, I wonder if that's it. Sorry. Once I finish this, it made me think, is it more visible as it dries? Is that it? I think I'm gonna have to go back to the lab, but won't tag you along for that because I do want to post this without it taking any longer than it already has. So thanks for your patience as we still have that Persian green to get to. Take care, farewell, and goodbye.